The Vatican is a small country in the center of Rome, with an area of 49 hectares and a population of just over 800 people. The Vatican is indeed the smallest country in the world. Do not let its size fool you, because it is led by one of the most powerful and influential figures alive, the Pope. The Vatican holds extraordinary wealth, from priceless art to centuries-old documents and sacred relics. But beyond what is on display for the public eye to see lies something even more intriguing. What does the Pope actually own? And what rare, secret items are hidden deep within the Vatican's private chambers and vaults? In this video today, we're uncovering the rarest and most secret possessions of the Vatican and what they reveal about the power behind its walls. The Vatican Apostolic Archives, formerly called the Vatican Secret Archives, with over 53 miles of shelving, these archives contain some of the most powerful documents in history. On the surface, the archive houses all acts disseminated by the Holy See, state papers, account books, and other documents accumulated by the Church over the centuries, but underneath all the formal paperwork are some interesting and even dark documents, ranging from notes related to the trial of Galileo to a letter from the renowned artist Michelangelo to the Pope, warning him that Vatican guards had not received their payments for 3 months. Some people argue that there may be even darker secrets hidden within the archive, records the public was never meant to see. One such rumor points to a sealed document detailing an exorcism performed inside the Vatican itself, kept far from public knowledge. While the hidden documents of the Vatican may guard spiritual and political secrets, not everything of value is tucked away in the shadows. Some treasures are worn in plain sight on the very hands and heads of the popes themselves. Papal tiara. The Pope also owns a collection of priceless jewelry, starting from the papal tiaras, which came into existence in the 8th century when the popes gained political power. Over the centuries, the tiara evolved in design, often growing taller and more ornate, symbolizing the Pope's supremacy over earthly kings and spiritual matters alike. Though no longer worn by modern popes, they were traditionally reserved for coronations and select non-liturgical occasions. These tiaras were made from solid gold, and many of them were never priced. Their value was seen as completely priceless. While the papal tiaras represented grandeur and authority, another item carries deep symbolic weight: the fisherman's ring. Worn by each pope, this solid gold ring isn't just decorative, it plays a role in official documents and is unique to every papacy. The fisherman's ring. The most powerful ring in history belongs to the Pope of the Catholic Church. It weighs about 35 grams of solid gold, with very intricate and detailed designs. The early years of the ring had its design about St. Peter casting his fishing net into the water to signify the Church's evangelical mission to go after souls. But over the years, the designs evolved to St. Peter holding heaven's key, showing the authority Christ put on him. The ring was also used to serve as a stamp of the Pope's signature to official church documents. Kissing the Pope's ring has been a sign among the Catholics to show respect and recognition of the Pope's spiritual leadership. But something interesting happened with Pope Francis. During a visit to the Catholic shrine in Loreto, Italy, Pope Francis stopped people from kissing his ring. While it raised eyebrows initially, Vatican spokesman Alessandro Gisotti later clarified that the Pope's motivation was hygiene. He wants to avoid the risk of contagion for the people, not for him. Once a pope dies or retires, his ring is physically destroyed to mark the end of his tenure. It cannot be used by anyone else. Once a pope's ring is destroyed, it marks the end of his time leading the church. But while that chapter closes, another story lies much deeper, beneath the very ground of the Vatican itself. That story is told by the Vatican necropolis. The Vatican necropolis. According to tradition, the Apostle Peter was martyred in the year 64 or 67 during the reign of Emperor Nero. It is believed that St. Peter's Basilica is built upon the very graveyard of St. Peter. Beneath the grandeur of St. Peter's Basilica lies something few visitors ever get to see: the Vatican necropolis. This underground burial site predates the basilica itself and stretches back to Roman times. Some people believe it was once a pagan cemetery before it became the resting place of Christians. The Vatican necropolis is not open to the general public without special permission, adding to its mysterious allure. Narrow corridors, dim lighting, and ancient tombs give it the feel of a hidden world, one that's sacred. But one thing that really makes this necropolis special is a tomb that allegedly belongs to St. Peter, Jesus' disciple and the first pope of the church. Not just Peter's tomb was found, but what makes this necropolis even more remarkable are the bone fragments discovered there, believed to be those of St. Peter himself. Bone fragments of St. Peter. One of the most renowned buildings in the historic city of Vatican City is St. Peter's Basilica. It is believed that the church was built on the burial ground of St. Peter himself. With regards to that, during the excavation of the ground to lay the foundation of the church, the bones of St. Peter were claimed to have been discovered. The historian Eusebius, a contemporary of Constantine, wrote that Peter came to Rome and was crucified with his head downwards, gives credibility to the fact that his bones were in fact discovered in Rome. In November of 2013, the Catholic Church put the bone fragments on public display for the first time in history. The Pope held a bronze case containing 9 bone fragments, which were placed on the side of the altar during the ceremony. While the bone fragments connect us to St. Peter, the next relic offers another powerful link to the story of the crucifixion, the Spear of Longinus. Popularly known as the Holy Lance or the Spear of Destiny, this is believed to be the spear used by the Roman soldiers to pierce the side of Jesus during his crucifixion. Today, the Holy Lance is preserved in St. Peter's Basilica. It was not just stored in its original form, but carved into the pillar above the statue of St. Longinus. It is also believed that the spear had divine powers for the singular fact that it pierced the body of Jesus, making contact with his blood. This belief was widespread, and even the likes of Adolf Hitler coveted the Spear of Longinus. From a relic said to hold divine power and coveted by powerful figures, we now turn to another form of extraordinary legacy: Michelangelo's paintings. Michelangelo di Lodovico Buonarroti. Simone was an Italian artist and sculptor. He was well known for his exceptional artistry and was arguably the greatest artist of all time. Some of his best works are on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican City. But the Vatican's connection to Michelangelo doesn't stop there. He also designed the Dome of St. Peter's Basilica, a monumental architectural feat that dominates the skyline of Rome. The paintings are so magnificent that the chapel doubles as a tourist center, which entertains millions of people on a yearly basis. The Codex Vaticanus. One of the biggest concerns in the Christian faith today is that the Bible, their holy book, has gone through numerous translations over the centuries. This constant translation creates ongoing uncertainty about how accurate its interpretation truly is in today's world. Some argue the Quran has an advantage since it's preserved in its original language. Yet, the Vatican holds immense importance because within its walls rests the Codex Vaticanus, the original manuscript of the Greek Bible, one of the oldest and most valuable biblical texts in existence. If this glimpse behind the Vatican's locked doors left you wondering, drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to like and hit that subscribe button.